Hey, so Blue Like Neon just sent a message. Just said, "Can someone tell me what it's like to habituate? What's it like? Like, do you still hear the sound, or it just doesn't bother you anymore?" So I'll do my best to describe how it is for me, and I feel like at least a lot of people when they talked about it to me, it's similar to what I'm describing, but I'm sure everyone's experience is a little different. Um, what happens is first you start to accept the sound and you just like you start to have some confidence in your ability to handle it. And you also start to find that your mind starts getting involved in other things, and you don't think about it very much, or less. So maybe when you first got it, it'll be like you are thinking about it all the time, but then you start having some better times where you're like, oh, I just spent the last 30 minutes doing this thing, maybe playing a game, who knows, and I didn't even think about it the whole, for 30 minutes. And then those time periods start to get longer, and you think about it even less. And probably that's also combined with maybe you have some background noises that makes it easier for you to deal with. Like and then, you know, the acceptance keeps increasing where you're accepting it. It's not bothersome to you anymore, even though you hear it. And people can have different levels of acceptance, even, years long, later. Some people can be in a totally quiet room and they still hear it, and it's just like they can totally tune it out. It doesn't mean that the sound turns off. It's not like that. But they just get where their mind can be so involved in whatever they're doing that it's just out of mind. If it's out of sight, out of mind, it's sort of like not there. It's kind of like that. Right now, my room where I'm laying here on this little day bed is almost completely quiet, but there's a dishwasher in the other room running, and I hear a constant shing kind of sound the whole time, but it doesn't bother me. Like I'm able to move my thoughts to other things without it being a big deal to me. Um, and we've even gotten some reports from people who had a very loud tinnitus, like almost like a fire alarm. Um, and even that, they're able to tune it out. And I do believe that as you tune it out, what I mean by tune it out is your mind gets on something else. It in essence is quieter. I do believe that, and that's what some people have reported, even for their very loud. I'm not going to call my tinnitus quiet. It's not barely there. It's definitely there all the time, and I can hear it clearly even when the room is not quiet. But there are times when if I get the right sound and everything in the background, I can't hear it at all if I get it just right, But I don't even think about that. I'm not worried about it anymore. I just like my brain will switch over to something else, and it's easy for me to do that now. It was not easy before. It was really, really hard. But so to me, that's what it's like. There's definitely like a nerve network in your brain that leads to your ears, and there's something going on with those nerves that go about making the sound. And if you understand that, nerves can sort of be rewired. You can sort of rewire your brain in the sense that if your brain thinks something's really important, like you kind of have a subconscious brain too, not just your conscious brain. If your conscious brain is always thinking something's really important, I've got to solve this tinnitus problem. So therefore you're scared, you're worried, you're frustrated, you have all these emotions, and then your subconscious brain says, well, let's really, hear this sound. Let's really focus in on it. And then your perception of it is much louder. And I kind of feel like as you get where you accept it and you don't worry about it, in essence, the brain deprioritizes the tinnitus, and then it actually is quieter, but probably not gone. I have two little funny ears up here, don't I? That's kind of cute. Okay. Maybe I can get some new ears and then I won't have tinnitus, right? So it's kind of funny. I never noticed that. So I'm a little, am I a little demon? But anyways, yeah, so I think there's there's a number of things you can say about it, and your experience won't be exactly the same, but it'll probably go somewhat similar in that just over time you'll learn to not worry about it, and you'll even hear it, but like it's not going to be something that bothers you anymore. And then when you get to that place, where you can say, I don't care, it doesn't bother me, then it's so easy for your mind just to flip around to something else, and in a way it's not there because you're not thinking about it. It's so much not there that it's like it's silent. Like, there's been a lot of times when I've been making this video where maybe it's kind of like a background noise. That's one other description I'll give you, just, as an add-on. Like, like for me, you could call it crickets a little bit. It's kind of that high-pitched sound. And it's kind of like I'm in the woods and I've got the crickets and it's a constant sound, but it's like I'm not thinking about crickets all the time. It's like, in a way, I almost like I'm at home with it now. Like I've got the sound. It's like, just like there's normal sounds during your day, where, the good example is the background noise. You have the fan on, or you're playing some constant sound, a white noise on your phone, but you're not constantly thinking about that sound. It's just there all the time. And it's just, but I know in the beginning, it's just so hard to accept. Maybe for the rest of my life, oh my God, I'm going to have this sound. But what's going to happen is it won't be so important. Your brain will start to deprioritize it. And even it'll seem quieter. I think it will be quieter, and just kind of not there so much of the time. And when it is there, you'll be like, well, I got this. I'm not worried about this. And then, it's kind of like that. So I hope you can get better and better. So best wishes.